Avoiding the dealership? Don't want to be one of those car buyers thinking they got a good deal and really didn't? You're not alone. Julie Lawton and Michelle Malebranche, founders of Deals by Birdie, they take the guesswork out of negotiation and help people get into the car they really want without all the hassle. They're here, so please say hello, join the live chat, and feel welcome. This is ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back again to ATI Auto Business, automotive ecosystem, where some people learn more about the automotive industry. Let's get started with some top industry news and headlines that include industry workers building humanoid robots, AI already cutting white-collar worker jobs, and Chinese cars are coming to the U.S. despite tariffs. We've got a great show. We're going to talk about Deals by Birdie. What is Deals by Birdie? What do they do? How do they help? What's a car concierge? We are going to learn Deals by Birdie simplifies the car buying experience by offering personalized vehicle search, expert negotiation, and comprehensive services such as remote or pre-prepared paperwork. Really interesting because we keep reading more about tech. We're going to see more tech tonight in the news. Dealer tech, dealership tech, dealer inventory tech. And yet they are going the personalization route. I find that really interesting, and I think there's a market for that. Julie Lawton is the CEO of Deals by Birdie. Michelle Malebranche is the Chief Negotiation Officer. And we're going to meet them and learn more about it. I say get to know your ecosystem. Some disagree. Take it or leave it. New, used, auction, logistics, tech, remarketing, recon, and more. Yes, ATI is the ecosystem's neutral zone, if that's what you're looking for. I have continued to share. This is new. We're going to do a show Thursday. Rates are garbage on all platforms at this point. We'll be out of business soon if this extremely low rates continue. That's what's being said. But then, then you'll also see the golden age is here. So who knows? But even Cox Automotive admits that dealer sentiment index is down with concerns about the economy and tariffs growing. That's news. That shouldn't be news. The fact that it's, looks like news is interesting. Tuesday nights, automotive ecosystem, that's where you're at. If you dare. I know. The previous show, whenever that was, Ask Auto, one-click InSearch X shopping. Eric Brown, CEO of InSearch X, was here. Jade Terberry of Cox Automotive was here. If you missed it live, you can watch it on demand. You can get the podcast. Listen, here's a tip. If you do, go on demand, Ask Auto, car buying, digital assistant, and automotive AI podcasting. Ooh, we talked about automotive AI podcasting. You can go skip ahead to 20 minutes. Just skip ahead 20 minutes. The first 20 is all me talking and all this stuff. But you can learn how Ask Auto works. And then we had a great conversation with Jade Terberry. That was really cool. And you can go to askauto.ai, askotto.ai, and try it out. Give it a spin. On Thursday's show on industry logistics, we did a show with Coverfleet. We learned about unlocking better insurance rates. Like, your safety score should be great, and it's not. Or, your CSA score doesn't reflect your insurance rate. Anyways, that was a good show. Again, here you go. Here's your pro tip. Go to lower truck insurance rates and claims. Partner with Coverfleet Safety. Skip ahead to 19 minutes. I mean, I don't know. At 3 minutes and 45 seconds, proof that nobody cares about car haulers was pretty compelling. But, this Thursday, we're going to do why your car hasn't shipped yet. The Super Central Price War. The auto transport train wreck. If you watch it on YouTube, we use a different phrase than train wreck. But anyways, why, Jay? Why? Well, in this article, it says the headline is Auto Transport Rates Jump. Okay. So that's going to be a no. Because even on Central Dispatch Load Board, they're going to have the data. They're saying that average list prices per mile were flat in April, but continued an annualized decline of 8 straight months. Annual decline of 8 straight months. And that's on the load board. But you know, hey, do whatever you want. This is auto transport. A carrier says it all sucks. A few months back, I quit paying. They're grossly overpriced. The loads are grossly underpaid. Brokers suck. I'm close to quitting soon. So there you go. You know, I know it's not popular. Let's do some news. Oh, ringing the bell. You're welcome. Now, I decided to do something a little different. I'm not going to do in-depth articles. I'm just going to do a lot of headlines. This is going to be fun. Auto industry looks to humanoid robots to solve labor and factory problems. So you've got the factory workers making humanoid robots. I wonder how that's going to work out later. Japanese automakers face $19 billion hit from Trump tariffs. Which, you know, should be awesome or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be awesome. Nissan deepens cuts with 11,000 more job losses following a steep 88% profit drop. That was reported 2 weeks ago. Who knows what the news is by now? Next week it could be, you know, profits roar. Look for that headline coming up in the news. Toyota not raising prices to offset tariffs is not sustainable. Well, who thought it would be? Chinese cars will enter the U.S. market. No matter what you say. I'm sorry, China. AI experts say white-collar jobs will be automated in 5 years. Oh, man. Wow. All right. Well, cool. I'll see you in the soup line in 5 years. Volvo cars to slash 3,000 jobs in white-collar cutback. What? I thought this was the future. This is yesterday? Oh, God. As part of a restructuring as it grapples with high-cost slowdown in EV demand and trade uncertainty. See, no, EV demand isn't down. No way. That's not what I read on LinkedIn. This is fake news. Reynolds names interim CEO. Former chief files $300 million suit against the company. Ooh, what's that about? Well, according to the Busby law firm, they filed a $300 million lawsuit for breach of contract, tortious interference, and wrongful termination. On behalf of Tommy Barris, former CEO and chairperson of the Reynolds and Reynolds Company. The lawsuit sets forth that Reynolds and Reynolds attempted to avoid paying Mr. Barris the required compensation under the contract by creating internal disputes and fabricating a reason for termination involving inappropriate conduct. Ooh, that occurred close to 4 years prior. Without any warning and after a secret meeting with individuals outside the company, Barris was escorted out of the office with no explanation. Man, this is auto transport. That can't be true. Oh, there it is. Carvana roars out of Q1 with a caveat. Wait, with a caveat? Who cares? Billionaire Carvana CEO sells most shares ever. Woohoo! Party! Okay. Yeah. Target worker exposes massive tariff price hike for popular items. Kinda scared. Staff say it's just the beginning. Nah. Ooh. Target employee posted a Reddit while swapping out a price point for another that is 80% more expensive. Then was caught later by his hair and his jacket. I saw this on CBT News and I thought, gosh, what is why quitting can be a leadership power move? I'm just going to give it a applause. It just sounds awesome. You got the word leadership, and it's like, you know, rebellious. Why quitting can be a leadership power move. Yeah, but you don't work there anymore. So are you still the leader if you, I don't know. Commentary, how machines are improving dealer retail operations. Boy, this just never stops. It's machines and robot humanoids. Consumers who financed vehicles on 5 or 6 year loans and those with older trade-ins who sat on the sidelines waiting for prices to normalize are about to experience a real sticker shock. Gosh, what if that's my problem? Is there a machine that can... In this climate, the ability to position leasing effectively through payment-focused marketing, flexible mileage options, and aggressive OEM programs will be a defining skill. See, that sounds like there's still a need for people here. Probably. Dear ChatGPT, I'm on a 5 or 6 year loan with an older trade-in, sitting on the sidelines. Let me know how that, please put it in the live chat. Okay, yeah, online car shopping experience with swiping app powered by AI. Yeah, so you're going to have the machine side and the person side. We're going to talk to the person side tonight. Team Velocity announced launch of vehicle detail videos, brings dealership inventory using AI-powered, fully automated video content. All right, that's going to be machine. Used car transaction prices to top $30K for first time since 2023. Yeah, but everybody's rich, not a problem. ACV's Future Service Center drive-thru sees high demand. That's interesting. And VINCUE introduces Catalyst, rebuilding its platform from the ground up. Now that's interesting. A lot of interesting headlines. What do we learn? Who knows? It's ATI, where some people learn more about how the automotive industry works, new, used, dealer auction logistics, remarketing, recon, compliance tech, and more. I don't ship cars. Some would say I don't even move information. You can get the podcast. It is out there. And there is a website. So we got a show. We're going to have people on. We're going to have guests. And we're going to do that right after this, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Understanding web traffic at your site can be a funny thing. Who, when, why? Then you have things like bounce rates, visit times, return traffic. The point is, you have traffic, but are you capitalizing on all that traffic and why they came to your site to begin with? You may do moving, vehicle inspections, car auctions, custom car building, car clubbing. Quotify is the first online shipping utility feature that helps you to retain the relevant traffic and capture business which is typically just sent away. It instantly allows your visitors to see multiple shipping companies' rates and live reviews with an option to book the shipment now or email it for later. If you have car shipping relevant traffic, then why not swing the bat and make some money along with some other added benefits? The best part of Quotify is that it's free. Yes, that's right. We actually pay you to offer your visitors something they most likely need anyways. So let's wrap this up. It's a totally free utility feature that will increase your site visit times, lower your bounce rates, increase return rates, and we even pay you to use it. Sounds too good to be true. It's not. Sign up today or call now to speak with a commercial account specialist.
That is Superflow Systems. You don't want to be missing leads. It's the middle of the night. You're getting leads. How are you going to quote that thing? There's less cars on the road, I think, being moved, and so you need every lead you can get. So do me a favor, hit Mark up in the live chat. He's here. He wants to help. Oh, and the links are there too. Thanks a lot, Kimberly. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's give this a shot. Please do help me wish a warm welcome to Julie Lawton of Deals by Birdie. Julie, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see you and hear you, yes.
All right, cool. I can see you. I can hear you. So here's what's happening. I'm letting you in. I'm running the ad, and I'm talking about backgrounds and, right? But we're live, and we do live shows, and, it's live. Go for it, right? Exactly. So we're here. All right, so do me a favor. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jay. I really appreciate it. Well, as you know, I'm Julie Lawton. I'm the CEO of Deals by Birdie. I've been in automotive for, oh God, 18 plus years, usually in higher leadership roles like VP of sales, VP of channel, VP of partnership, and things like that. Um, I started in the automotive industry at cars.com. I think I was like the ninth or 10th employee. I was the first rep out west. And I knew nothing about the automotive industry, like absolutely zero. So I came from like marketing, and prior to that, for like 6 months, I'd done marketing at a radio station, and prior to that, I was a pharmaceutical rep. So like talk about like clear profile changes. So there were a couple dealers that took me under their wing, and I would work weekends. So I worked everything. I sold cars, I desk deals, I worked F&I. I did the whole thing for almost a year in order to really, really learn the business and be able to talk the talk, right? Well, that definitely moved around my territory and other dealers found out. So it really helped my sales, right? Because I was just a sales rep. But from that point on, I kind of weaved my way in and out of automotive in many instances into the analytics side, into like, that's what I love. I love data. So I went to the data side. I was with String, which was a startup that Experian purchased. We launched a platform that was actually really cool, helped dealers market, took sales, told them where they're losing, down to the model, that kind of thing. So I've been in in the automotive business for a really, really long time. I have a lot of connections, so I know a lot of people that will probably be watching this later, especially after we post it. Yeah, and so we just found that there was a real need, especially a real need for women to be represented in the automotive space when they're trying to buy a vehicle. And so here we are with Deals by Birdie. So yeah, that's why we're here. So more than anything, it really all, just so you know, started because a COO friend of mine, she's like one of the most confident people I know, right? Pretty powerful in her position, has worked her way up. I mean, just like, and so professional. And she was like, oh, I don't want to do it. Don't make me walk into the dealership. Like, please, I don't want, I've needed a new car for 2 years and I don't want to deal with it. She was like, it's the only place I feel out of control. And I was like, okay. So she's like, just do it for me. And that's really kind of how Deals by Birdie was started. Michelle and I have negotiated deals, and Mike Price has negotiated deals for years for friends and family. But that was like the real start of it. That really was like, she's like, no. And she sent us referral after referral after referral. But like, I think that's really how we got into it more than anything. And it was more by accident than really planned.
So you got me thinking about the dealership. I wrote down customer versus dealership.
That's how a lot of them feel. Yeah.
Yeah. This has been going on for decades, maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
What's
right.
the deal? Why customer versus dealer? How did it get
that way?
I don't mean to ask the history of customer versus dealer, but you see this firsthand. And a lot of people, the reason I also think this is interesting is that when I talk to dealers, I know a lot of folks in the dealership as well. And I think a lot of people are like, no, it's not like that at all. But it is.
It is, from people that are outside the automotive industry. Think about it. When you buy a house, most people use a realtor, right? Because they know the thousands of stacks of documents we have to sign, the processes that we have to go through in order, inspections and whatnot, right? Just for somebody to hold your hand during the process. Well, buying vehicles, for most people, the second largest purchase they make in their life, and they go in there and wing it. And so I can't imagine, there's a lot of mistakes being made just on the individual walking in the dealership, right? Like, they're probably not as prepared as they think they are, regardless of all the research tools out there. But that's how it feels, because they don't understand the process. And if they've bought a car at multiple different dealerships, there is no standard process, right? For us, we know the automotive industry, so we see it as a bigger picture. We see the basic process: come in, test drive, get hooked, sit down, go through the numbers, right? Okay, buy the car, agree, and then you go to F&I, right? Well, they don't know that, right? They're like, we have to go to F&I. Oh, okay, but they don't really know why. I mean, most of the general public does not understand the steps of buying a car in a dealership, is what it comes down to, and they don't know the terms. That's the other one.
Okay, so, and yet, And this is because and it was like when I was doing the news too. Like, I think that folks can feel like they're gonna be fine, but once there's a few curveballs, they're not.
Right. Exactly.
And there's a lot of videos now. I mean, there's like that grandfather team that talks about dealerships, and so there's a lot of video, right? So people know more than they used to. Plus, they can research prices, and then they can, go to CarMax and whatever. There's a million things people can do. But there's still plenty of cases. What are some of the common cases where you thought you were fine, you went on the website, you go in the dealer, you expect they know who you are, and then a right hook comes and you're not okay?
Me personally?
Well, for average car buyers that think they're going to be fine, they think they're armed, and then suddenly they're not.
Because they think, okay, I'm going to negotiate, I'm going to play it hard. They think about like the feeling of it, right? When they should be really concerned more about the numbers. The biggest mistake anybody makes when they go to buy a car, is the trade-in. If they have a trade-in, they usually if they don't know anything about the automotive business, they'll get slaughtered on their trade-in, right? Because they're going to go to Kelley Blue Book or some place that like generalizes the pricing. And they're going to be like, okay, my car's worth this. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people of our customers that have said, well, I think my car's worth $6,000. And I go in and look at using our technology. I'm like, your car's worth $11,000. Who told you it was worth $6,000? Like that big of a gap, right? So therein lies, they don't really understand. And they also are not following automotive trends. As we know, used cars are scarce, good ones anywhere, right? So
you got my attention on the trade-in.
Right? We know it's years.
You're absolutely right. We don't know the value of our car. And it's not like we're not going to go into the secrets because this is your business and this is why. But you're right about the trade-in. We're all guessing.
Oh, all guessing. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we use obviously technology to figure out what the thing is. And we also work with the dealers, right? Because you know as well as I do, what most people don't understand when they go in is the trade-in is the first thing you have to figure out. And once you figure that out and you've worked on what you really think it is, believe it is worth, right? That's your bargaining chip. That's where you're like, okay, we'll take $1,000 or $1,500 off my trade-in and move it to the front end and take it off the front, right? And then we can lower my payment. And they're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But no general consumer will ever say that to a dealer because they don't know to do it. They look at them of all very separate actions that occur during the transaction, if that makes sense.
It does. And so, all right, let's say I am a dealer salesperson, which I can't imagine doing that job either. It's got to be hard, right?
I mean, you definitely meet some randoms, but I mean, it's actually pretty fun too. Because just from the experience I've had doing it, it's fun. If you like people, it's pretty entertaining. It's also really weird. I had a guy once when I was training that wouldn't get out of his car, but wanted to buy a car through the window.
Right. Was that a reflection of trust issues at the dealership?
It was just it was very interesting. So yeah.
Huh, okay. But I mean, just so as a first-time customer, right? You don't know, and as a deal, how many cars do you have to try to sell before you can actually sell one? Does it take a while?
Yeah, it takes a while.
It's got to.
Yeah, for sure. Women do better at it quicker, to be honest. Like,
is that right?
We're considered more trustworthy. There just is something that goes along with it. Yeah. So there's a reason there are entire companies out there doing dealer training, right? And sales training. It's not easy, especially because there is no requirement for it, right? You don't have to have a sales background. You don't have to have any experience at all. You can just walk into a dealership and get a job if you show some motivation, right? Or some spark. That's how dealers hire.
Well, I've seen some dealer training where they work out a lot, and that seems to be part of the training.
Yeah. Okay.
But, all right. But do you? I love to. I just think that's it's great how much the automotive industry appreciates like working out.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a true thing, yeah.
It's pretty wild, but which is cool. That's cool. But now, do you then tune in for dealer training to watch some of the ways a customer's gonna get whacked in the process? Is that
I've
fair?
been through a lot of it. So we have a consulting arm, and so Mike Price does the consulting for Deals by Birdie. And I mean, he ran dealership groups. He was a VP, a senior VP for Larry H. Miller and Asbury. And so I've witnessed the training. I've sat in training. I've actually trained salespeople as a Cars.com rep just because they didn't really know how to sell, right? Like, ask the right questions. Don't talk about the car. Nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's the basics. But the beautiful part about it is in automotive, whether you have experience or not, there's always a chance for you to succeed as long as you have just a little bit of moxie. You know what I mean? So
you see, you just said something interesting there. Don't talk about the car.
No, don't talk
Now
about
that's funny, because aren't we buying and selling cars, and yet talking about the car is not?
No, you want to find out what their needs are, how it fits them, what their lifestyle's like, what they want their visual to the world to look like their lifestyle is, right? It's that kind of things. What are their needs? Like, are you hauling hockey equipment around all day? You know what I mean? Then you know what? I'm guessing like the small SUV is really not going to work for you, right? So, you know, you need a bigger car for you guys to do that.
Okay, so would part of the process of the consulting then also be helping a customer realize they're looking for the wrong car?
Absolutely. We've had customers come in that totally were set on something because they like the look of it. And I'm like, okay, so tell me a little bit like about your everyday activities. And she's like, well, I have 3 boys in soccer. I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, do you carpool? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I don't think the sedan's going to do it. How many people? And she goes, well, I'd like to fit 5. I'm like, okay, well, you can't legally fit 5 kids in a sedan. Like, you know what I mean? So we kind of went through that. And she's like, I know, I'm just concerned about the price point. I was like, no, there's really good SUVs that are at the same price point, you know, as your Toyota Camry that we can get you into. And she's like, oh, really? And then it kind of opens up, but they just don't know, right? And
That's really interesting. Yeah, you're not just helping navigate the dealership.
No, yeah.
But
we're definitely helping the consumer purchase the right car that like fits them.
you know, I don't hear a lot of people talk about consumers not realizing they're not looking at the right car.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm like, for example, I'm a
That's
marketer's
awesome.
dream. Put anything in a shiny tube like toothpaste and I'll buy it, right? So that is how consumers are. Most of them are like, ooh, I really like that car. Ooh, that's so cute. Like, for example, remember when the QX80 was like super hot, right? So, I mean, super hot. You saw them everywhere, right? And everybody wanted that car. Well, they were making such bad decisions to get into the car. They were buying used ones with 120,000 miles on them. Do you know what I mean? And like just bad decisions and rolling over more negative equity. So it's also coaching them that way because they don't really understand that what you're buying is a depreciating asset. That's what it is, right? So you don't want to keep adding and rolling negative equity. You want to get something, I know it's uncomfortable. We can get you something really cute that fits your budget, right? Although there are those that really just want the big flashy car, but then there's sacrifices to be made, right? So
You know, you're really talking like a realtor now, right? Because when you're house hunting, realtors help you understand what you're looking at, not just your POV and what you were thinking.
right.
But right, they help kind of you realize, wow, you're right.
I mean, we had
I don't want to sleep on the 3rd floor.
Right. We had a customer, she wanted the Genesis, the SUV that's like super hot right now. She had $11,000 in negative equity. I'm like, do you realize your payment is going to be $1,800 a month for a lease? Like, she was like, well, that's okay. I'm like, no, it's not okay. Like, not considering, then why don't you just pay off or sell the car and take the loss and then get in, we can negotiate a way better price than what we're at right now, right? Because your trade-in is so far upside.
You know what I'm seeing right now is that, okay, on dealership website, it seems like that you're searching, you put in your car and you're searching for a car. They need Deals by Birdie in a window. Are you sure about what you want?
Right.
Talk to Julie, right?
Right. Yeah.
And make sure.
There are dealerships or dealer groups out there that are starting to have like car concierge be part of the buying process, but they still work for the dealership. So I don't know if it's a true car concierge.
Okay, well, that's not, yeah, no, that's not a real, you know, that's funny. I feel the same way. If you're really looking for an honest opinion, you kind of have to go outside the company. I know companies don't like that.
No, yeah.
But it's part of getting an objective. You can't get you're not going to get the objective point of view on the Camry from someone inside the Camry store. Do me a favor. You're sticking around and you're watching. We're learning more about Deals by Birdie. Here we go. We're going to invite Michelle.
Okay.
I didn't give much of a warning. I am going to give her a drum roll. Here we go.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Please do help us wish a warm welcome to Michelle, and I hope I'm saying it right. Malebranche?
Malebranche. Yeah, you got it.
I'm right.
Yeah. You're
Hey,
right.
Michelle, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm just laughing, basically, also
Yeah.
when Julie's describing, of course, everything. So
Right, I know we're having fun. And I'm actually.
I'm like, when can I jump in?
I didn't know, right? I didn't know there was so much psychology in this
Yes,
service.
absolutely. Yeah, there's quite a bit. And to Julie's point, most consumers do not know the entire buying process and the words and things like that. But it's really, again, what they truly, of course, need, especially for their lifestyle. And that's where we're able to help, especially, expose that. But when you think about it, also, we work with some great dealerships across the country.
Yeah.
We've been in so many, just being in the business. There's a lot of our favorites that are out there, but also we're coming from a dealer background. I was in the business. I've been in the business for 25 years. The dealerships want to make sure, of course, they're taking care of you for the life cycle of your vehicle. And what does that look like? It looks like service. It looks like, is there also, a reminder, of course, that, hey, your oil change is due or something like that. It's, or could you actually even get into a newer vehicle, even though you're in, of course, this one and you bought it 2 years ago. These are things that we can help with, especially discover with our backgrounds.
Yeah, I was going to say is that once Julie got my attention on the trade-in, what's another big one that, if trade-in's number one, what's number two that a customer hits them like a curveball and they realize they're in over their head and they don't know what they're doing? What is number two?
I would personally, Michelle, you may have a different one, but personally, I would say when they're in the negotiation process, they've kind of already lost control because they didn't take control of the trade-in. And then they get the first payment that they penciled to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Whoa. I mean, I told you I needed to be at 550 and this is 810. And they're like, well, you're looking at a $60,000 car. Like, you know what I mean? And so the process there, they can calculate payment online and things like that. But I think a lot of people go in and they think, oh, I'll negotiate it down. Well, I love you, but you are not going to negotiate the car down $30,000, no matter who you are, right? So I think that's the other one. That first payment, like, really is like, it's that realization sets in. And you can even talk to Mike Price. Well, he can't make it. He's sick as a dog. But like, as you can tell, I've had it for like the last 10 days. So, but the truth of the matter is like, that's like the shock moment for most people. And they're like, what, whoa, but my trade-in's worth 18,000. Yeah, we get that. But like, we still have to calculate and interest rates and everything else. So I think that for me, it's that first payment, right? When I've seen, and what most dealers say to me is when you show them that first payment, transferring them, especially because there's many people out there, it's about 50-50. I have to buy the car and I need to pay it off, right? And then there's the other half that are like, I want to lease because I want a new car every 2 or 3 years, right? The lease people think a little different than the buy people, is kind of my point, right? And so I don't know, Michelle, is there something that sticks out to you? Because that seems to me, that's the story we get. Well, I tried to go buy a car and they tried to give me an $800 payment. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, you're buying a $70,000 car. I mean, I don't know what you expected.
I'm going to stop you and say, it's almost like I can visualize myself there in that moment. Because that is a true statement. It's always higher than you expect. And you kind of feel that's a tough moment.
Yes.
It's like you got an F on your test.
Kind of deflates the excitement of buying a new car.
Like it's done. Yeah, it is. It's a deflating moment. It's a humbling moment, and you're wishing you knew Yeah. How do I get back to what I was hoping for?
Right. How do I get there? Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, well, I just don't know, but you can put
Well,
more.
is there I don't want to know what the strategy is. Is there a strategy?
I mean, that's what it goes back to the trade-in, what they're willing to put down. Like they need to have all of that prepared before you walk into a dealership and be like, I know
You
the
could,
car on MSRP is 63,000. I'm only willing to pay 58 to 50, 58.5 to 59 or 58,000, whatever it is, and walk away. But they get so attached. It's that shiny object and they're just in love with it and they want it.
and this is part of
Michelle's
the
the
dealer
worst
training.
at that.
I'm the
Right.
worst. Yeah, I will say.
Worse than this. She will not walk away. She'll be like, I'll do it. Okay. Yeah. For herself, I mean. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I would say that's, so Julie, you bring up, of course, when it came to that negotiation and when it came to the figures and stuff. I think the biggest thing that I help a lot of people with are leases. There are a lot of consumers that do not understand a lease and really
At
what
all.
you can. Yes, at all.
At
Whether
all.
it be the right term, whether it be the right mileage that they're getting, if they like driving new vehicles and having, of course, warranty that's behind it. There's a lot of situations that I've helped a lot of people out with negative equity actually get into a lease, maybe lease it for 2 or 3 years, and then they can walk away from that particular negative equity. And again, it's all based upon, credit and things like that. But there's so many deals that are out there also on the leasing side.
Yes.
Right, and so you said something right. Credit. You have to know the factors that will help you, the factors that will hurt you, and
Correct.
you kind of have to have that all in mind. It's like entering an arena at extreme fighting, right? You got to know. You have to know the tools, know your weaknesses, know your strength. Got to be able to do the crane and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so how does Deals by Birdie? How do you structure kind of working with somebody? Do you go in with them? What does that look like?
No, most of it's done remote, to be honestly, because we know so many dealers, depending on where they are, or if they want to buy from a local dealer, and want service there and whatnot. We'll call the dealer, usually get to like the GSM, right? The dealers we do know, we call the GM and they're like, okay, work this deal, give it this, we got to make this on the front and this is how it goes. Like it's that easy. We can do it.
Ooh. This is like, you're like my agent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like Hollywood, actor, agent, but in any case, you're my agent. So the customer's not even, I'm your customer. I'm not even calling the dealership.
No,
you're
you don't
calling
have
on my
any contact
behalf.
with them. None.
I like
Zero.
that.
Until you like basically walk in to sign the papers that they've pre-done. You'll go through F&I. We usually say call us in your F&I if they start pushing on you, but usually we already have a deal, like leave them alone. They don't need anything, right? Unless it's a used, then we'll consult them on what to buy for an F&I, like for, warranty and things like that.
That's pretty cool. Now, and I think I asked you before, you've done a lot of deals. It's not like this is a startup. You've moved a lot of cars.
Yeah, we've done we do a lot of cars. We've done it for years. We just didn't call it Deals by Birdie. Is really what it comes down to. But no, I mean, I think because both Michelle and I have been national for so long, we have built really, really good dealer relationships. And then we have the other side of it where the finance side and whatnot, Michelle has done all of that as well as Mike. And so when we go to negotiate, there's a lot of times I'll get in and I'll talk to the customer and then I'll like send it to Mike and I'll be like, I don't know this dealer, go work it. And he'll like work the deal on the back end and he'll be like, okay, I got it. We're down, $6,000 under invoice. I got this for their trade. It's fair. I'm like, okay, great. And then I go back and present and be like, are you ready to move forward? And they're like, yes. So that's kind of how it works. Michelle and I both we all do leases, but Michelle has been you've done a ton of leases for some reason.
I have
especially
always
because
done,
Michelle likes luxury vehicles. And so guess what she attracts? Luxury buyers.
Yes. So I definitely have, of course, that experience. I think I've leased, I can't tell you how many cars I've leased. And I go back and forth between a sports car to a big SUV and things. But I think what else people, of course, really, really see is that there are some vehicles that are out there, maybe it's a model that's updated or something like that, where the dealership might have some very, very good leases on a previous model or the, before it's the one, of course, before the refresh. So like for instance, an Audi Q5 is going through a refresh, of course, right now. What are some deals, that Audi has on the older model and stuff? And that's how I get people out, of course, when it came to some negative equity. I have a lot of payment buyers. So I think one of the deals I just worked was on a 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Yeah, this is before the stop sale on those. But before that and stuff, it was literally, I got her 3 years, 36 months for $390 when it came to it, and zero money out of her pocket. Those are unheard of when it came to some of the leases that are out there.
That's awesome. So, okay, I'm thinking this. Customers on the East Coast, and you're on the West Coast.
Yep.
When does the dealership say, listen, this deal sounds pretty good that we're working out, but we need to see the car and do an evaluation?
Normally, I have often sent people to like CarMax to get a physical and like a true evaluation there so that I can actually get it.
Not even the dealership, but a different,
because then we have bargaining power with the dealership if they really, really want it, right? So I've done that. But then also we've required pictures. I mean, inside, outside, everything around, like almost 30 pictures from them showing us the vehicle, VIN, everything. And then we can kind of run it through our system to figure out what it's worth. And then we like, well, no offense, but what I'm looking at right now, this is what it's worth. And I've uploaded the pictures in and everything. And they're like, okay, send me the pictures. Like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we can probably do that. Or they'll try to work you down. But normally they want the used car. Like they desperately want used cars. So we always give the dealership normally the first pass once we've looked at it and run it through our system.
Right. So that's another bit of insider trading, is that dealers really really want that used car, don't they?
They really want that used car.
More than ever before. And it's kind of been that way for a while, right? Ever since COVID or something?
You know what it is? Like this is my personal view. Ever since Cash for Clunkers back in 2008, there's been little highs where we've had like a lot of used cars, but the truth be told, there's always been somewhat of a lull and they've always wanted. We go through highs, but they never have really gone down prior to that what they were worth before, right? So it's just, we need so many. There's been hurricanes. I mean, every time that happens, cars are wiped out. Like we have lost so many cars through all natural disasters and whatnot. It just is, there's a shortage. There is a shortage. And people
that is a good point.
Cars longer.
And there's been a lot of natural disasters.
There have been. Mm-hmm.
It's all the global cooling.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
That's not right. But yeah, but used cars are in high demand, and this is really, really good for the customer.
It's really good for the customer, especially because I'm trying to think, it was probably almost a month ago, but I think the average before 2025, it was usually around like $400 to $500, $400 to $600. Let's say that when a dealer bought a car from auction, they'd have to like put in, like maybe throw a couple new tires on it, like detail it, whatever, right? It's closer to $2,100 right now. So like that is a huge difference in what they have to do to make that car frontline ready. So if they can get a really good used car that's in good condition, right, and they don't have to do much to it, they want it.
Okay, we got number 1, the trade-in. Number 2, the first payment pencil. Do we have a number 3? Because, I mean, I'm really interested. This is good stuff.
Julie, I can bring up one, but it sometimes doesn't become a major issue. But also because we deal with dealerships across the country, I know that you, of course, were even talking about, well, how am I going to get the vehicle? So transport is also what we're very, very good at. So transport and logistics, we can basically handle, that sort of aspect. So it's don't be afraid to actually buy out of your state. And if we give you the information and give you the recommendation to buy out of state, that's something, of course, that we can help with.
I mean, let's face it, Jay, right? Like if somebody's looking for a green, Bugatti Chiron, right? We're going to have to source it and we're going to have to move it, right? If they want the average run-of-the-mill like Jeep or BMW or Audi, even sometimes the dealerships we normally work with don't exactly have the trim level they want. So we have to go to somebody else in the neighborhood, right? And sometimes if cars are popular, right? Like, what is it? The Genesis SUV. I can never remember model names. That is my weakness. But I mean, man, you can go, there's 3 states and you can't find the one you want, right? So, I mean, you have to look at it that way. So shipping and being open to transport is always something somebody should consider. It will cost you additional to transport it, but we have good connections and can negotiate a lot of stuff. So yeah,
Transport and logistics. I didn't predict that, and
right?
yet, I mean it. Right. I mean, we all of us here know a lot about transportation and logistics, and that this can be. Is this an area where dealers try to turn it into a profit center when they can?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Of course right. You know me. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, of course.
That's true, right?
They should, right? Because they're the ones that have to arrange it. They have to get it. They have to get it ready to leave before it's delivered to the customer. It has to be bathed and shined up, or it should be. So, right. So it does cost them a few extra bucks to get it there. So, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with them making money on transport.
I think one of the things that we also help the most too with buyers being out of state is that CSI score. So we're going to make sure that the customer is taken care of, not just from the dealership side, but also as a consumer, because it's also valuable for us, even for recommendations and things like that. We want to make sure we're going the extra mile, but also the dealership is going the extra mile too, to make sure that CSI is well taken care of.
Why am I not familiar with CSI score?
That's the consumer score that they get graded on from the manufacturer. So, they get them, when you buy a new car, or a used car, really, right, Michelle? You get a questionnaire. And if they don't get all high rankings, what is it, 10? Yeah. 10s or whatever it is, depending, it can be 5s or 10s, depending on what manufacturer and what dealer group's doing it. But if you don't get high scores, I mean, that's not good. You get in trouble. I mean, there are people that have been threatened that they're not going to floor them anything anymore unless they get their CSI scores up.
Whoa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're back in the realtor position again here. There are a lot of things. And I know, you talked about the leasing, and it seems like leasing's been in the news. Is leasing back up?
Leasing is back up. Yeah.
Leasing is back
up. It has to
be.
After,
right.
After COVID, so many people had negative equity. It honestly is the only way to get them out of it in some aspects.
And actually, you were talking about it earlier, Jay. Some of the best leases that are out there are on EVs, EVs especially. And we usually try to steer our customers to leasing if they were looking at an EV. So
interesting. We're almost done here. Are you? Where did you get the name Deals by Birdie? I like it. I think it's good. I like the branding,
Thanks. We are avid golfers. If I'm not working, I'm usually on the golf course, and same with Michelle. So we're always chasing a birdie. If not.
Okay, whoa. That's brilliant. Because golf goes really well with automotive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially making sure that, that vehicle can hold your clubs for one, but also, we've had a number of conversations with people on the golf course.
That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a whole slew of golf accessory branding here.
Right?
You should have the visor, Deals by Birdie. Are you kidding?
Yep, 100%.
Make sure you get a birdie with Deals by Birdie. I mean, oh my gosh, don't bogey, get Deals by Birdie.
Exactly.
I mean, this is great. I love it. Yeah. And then do you go to trade shows and network and have booths, or I don't know, do you do that stuff?
We haven't really had to, because we're really more consumer focused. The dealers naturally have come to us, right? Hey, I have a deal, people we know, they're like, we have a deal on this vehicle and it's actually a really good price. I can get them out the door for $445 or whatever it is, right? So we'll kind of pump that. We know what people have come to us to look for a vehicle like that and be like, now's the time. If you weren't ready, now's the time. We found it. We're going to have to ship it, but you're saving $180 in payment every month. So it's worth it, right? That kind of thing. So they've come to us a lot of times with that stuff to help us get and move those vehicles.
Yeah, no, you're right. B2B is not where you need to market. It's B2C.
Yep.
So where can you find customers en masse that are shopping? You said cars the second biggest. What kind of shows do people go to, or sites or forums do
It's
they
all
go
social
to?
media.
All social.
day and
Yeah.
It is
night.
all social. So you're doing
TikTok,
TikToks?
Instagram, Facebook. I mean, yeah, all of them.
TikTok it up.
Oh yeah, we've been
Yeah.
TikToking it up. It's my lead.
Who's making a TikTok? When's you got to make a TikTok, right?
We
I
just
love
love
that-
it. Jay,
Marketing is.
you're hitting a sore subject with us. That's what we try.
All right, that's all
Like,
right.
Right
Yeah.
now, I'm trying to figure out, like, it's, I hate the way I look right now on video. It's like, oh my God, why does Julie make me have this
Okay, so-
background going on?
All right, maybe we need to talk because there is something that I happen to do full time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't bring it up to get your business, but I just marketing is my jam.
Right.
Marketing and video marketing.
Video marketing.
And I actually right before the show realized that there's something in the news, and I started coming up with this is who this is, and an analogy through image, like a meme. My point is that I'm always thinking of, okay, here's this situation. How does this situation, through creative or marketing means, reflect an actual situation?
Sure.
How can I create another message using either video or an image or a meme or a marketing message? I can't help it. And that's why it just came to me that talking about this, you should have TikToks. If you're looking to reach customers, start getting into TikTok. Let me know if I can help.
Okay. Yeah, we do. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
It's not a hard sell. I believe in it. You guys should be doing it.
No, and
Yeah.
we have to. We don't really have any choice.
Yeah.
To be really transparent, I would say 85% of our business is referral at
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
But that's why we're going to TikTok, right? So that's why we're there doing that, and Facebook and Instagram. And I mean, we're targeting the people that have more income than time, right?
All right, here I'll pitch you. Look at this. I'm live, and I'm gonna pitch them live.
Okay.
Let's do a little drum roll here. One. It's the end of the show. Nobody's. Okay. So here's the pitch, because I do pitch this at times. All right. I can help you create the recordings that would become the reel from which we're gonna pull clips for your next TikTok.
Okay.
And I can help you do that. It's not tonight's recording because we're getting to know each other.
Right.
And, we have a couple, things we got to fix visually. But
Yes.
it is something I can help you do. So let me know if you're interested in that. Because
Okay.
what I'm seeing more is through some of the new technologies that I'm learning more about, making multiple clips that are perfect for TikToks has become part of my wheelhouse. So
Okay,
let me know if I
cool.
can help you with that. Yeah. So
Awesome.
whenever you're ready, because I definitely believe you should, because you got to get in front of customers, and there's some B-roll too. I think this golfing thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've attracted a lot of people from the golf course, and even
That's your
like,
B2B angle.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we have quite a few retirement communities here in Arizona and Nevada, right, that have golf courses.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a
I'm in
gold
with
mine
the
right
rip
there.
guys in Arizona,
'Cause-
so they like.
Well, and you're talking about luxury vehicles,
Yep.
right? Lease, luxury vehicles, golf, deals by Birdie, car concierge, second biggest purchase. What'd you say?
Second largest purchase most people make in their life.
I mean, that actually right there, that's an attention getter. Because you don't realize that is true until you hear it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's probably true.
And being from the automotive side, to me, it's like just the lack of power people see in their trade-in. Because that to me is like, what do you think it's worth? Well, I went on so-and-so, and I'm like, no, it's worth $4,000 more than that.
So that's another good hook on the trade-in, because a lot of people are searching for how to trade in their car, right? Sell your car online, which makes me wonder. I'll ask this: so are popular chain used car online stores that have tall buildings with elevators, are they making good money on these trade-ins? Nobody really knows, but in the auto industry, we see how much money they're printing, and it makes me wonder, is that on the trade-in?
I mean,
Can I
I
know
would,
it's a danger bomb, but I'm curious.
I
You
would
can't
go to
you
guess.
can also say pass. You can say pass.
No, I would go to guess that that is probably a large portion of their profits is the trade-in for sure. And second, you're dealing with people who want a car delivered to their house that don't want to deal with people face to face for the most part, right? That do a lot of these transactions, right? Or they don't feel confident, or they really, they work from home, they don't want to leave, right? COVID has turned an entire generation into I just want everything to come to my door, right? So that entire process, yes, they're definitely going to make money on the trade-in, and a lot of them have standardized pricing, right? So you don't negotiate, you just get the car. So they're making it on the front and the back.
All right, cool. So here's a follow-up. Thank you for answering. Here's a follow-up. You can also say pass. I mean, are a lot of people are they going for that?
Yeah.
A lot
Yes.
of people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? What's the
Yeah.
secret? What
It's
am I
like-
missing?
They don't want the hassle.
Yeah, the ease for one, you're not you're not having to basically go into the dealership and really, go through sometimes that negotiation process, which some people get hives from it. I mean, people
Yeah.
are scared sometimes when they go in, and other people, they might have done all of the research, just like what Julie had said before, they've done all the research. But again, it's that usually when that first pencil comes back and you're like, well, wait a minute, that's not what I saw. That's not what I researched or anything. So, and then literally again, it's the Amazon effect. They want it now. They want it fast. When it came to, of course, the numbers of really truly what they're trying to buy. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but they're not getting the best deal. I mean, are
No.
they? Right.
No,
you
they're
can't.
definitely
I mean,
not.
You couldn't be.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But when you
exactly.
think about, of course, one of those ones that has one of those buildings with an elevator, they practically own the auction. So,
Yeah.
when you think about
Right.
that, I mean, that's, but
Right.
this is where we tell our dealerships also, when you think about it, there's any dealership can become that virtual showroom. It's, and looking outside, of course, of their PMA. So why can't we, that's something that we're doing to help that sort of process with the dealers that do want to be aggressive and do want to make sure that, hey, we understand it's not just going to be from our, some towns only have 8,300 and they have one Ford dealership. And it's like,
Right.
how are you going to keep in business and stuff when you still have to make those numbers? So.
Yep.
Well, I know, dealerships are working really hard and have been for a long time to make it a place where customers feel like they're welcome, so they don't have that avoidance and fear. But I guess it's not fully working then.
I mean, no offense, but adding a playroom, having popcorn and free water isn't exactly making anybody feel at home.
Wow. You just canceled like half of the trade shows in the automotive industry. But I'm saying this because I feel like this is the thing nobody talks about, is that right there is, I don't even know, it's millions of dollars are spent on promoting dealers and how, friendly and great and people and cars, and yet everyone's shopping on Carvana. So what happened?
I think, so to your point, Jay, I think what's great is from a service side, if creating that comfortable environment, having the Wi-Fi stations, having maybe the snack bar, kind of things like that, that really helps from a service standpoint. And also, if you bought the vehicle, if we can try to help you, or we're providing, of course, that particular sale that's close to you, your trade is also a lot of times going to be worth a little bit more if that same dealership was also working on the vehicle, for you. But when you look at, of course, that experience from a sales standpoint, consumers are looking for the best deal. They're looking for, of course, hey, so I don't want to have to do the back and forth. I don't want to have to, there's a lot of dealerships, unfortunately, that we've seen and that might still ask, hey, I'm single, so, I don't have, where's my husband or anything like that. That is a deterrent. You know, when you don't know your audience, when you don't know, of course, again,
I was just going to say, it's all about knowing your customer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you know the segment that hates going to the dealership, regardless of what you tell them, you got them.
Yes. Yes. My orthopedic surgeon, he doesn't have time to go and shop at a dealership. And so what I do, I set the entire deal. He was in and out of the dealership with the trade in 45 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So all these market segmentations. It's just a lot. I got to tell you. Say I read all the automotive traditional marketing magazines and stuff, and they're all kind of on the same just promotion, everything's awesome kind of thing, and I'm like, man, that can't be true.
Yeah.
And that's why I love these conversations, because guess what? It's not true.
It's not true. No.
It's not true. There are so many different kinds of customers. You need many different ways to get this inventory moved. And we didn't even talk about vehicle acquisition.
Right.
I just want to say, so I'll ask this. Do you find that, so the reverse is happening? Do you ever have dealers say, hey, can you guys help me get more inventory or whatever with these customers? And does anything like that, the other side of the transaction, that happens?
Yeah, a lot of dealers, of course, you know, so we might have a trade that's available, and we might call, you know, 2 or 3 dealerships to also, because we know that, hey, they specifically are looking for those Toyotas that are, you know, 20 to 22 or 20 to 23, you know, model year. So it's knowing, of course, even your audience from a dealer side. That's another aspect that we look at. You know, it's talking to the used car director, it's talking to the new car sales manager, and also the GM. This is how we can help. And so we built that trust, you know, for years. You know, with some of the industries that we've been in, and they know, of course, also, hey, Michelle's got a deal, Julie has a deal. I know that everything's going to be taken care of, even delivering the vehicle to, of course, that consumer, you know, where I don't have to worry about. My CSI is also going to be great.
Yep.
That makes total sense. Julie, Michelle, thank you so much for all this time and information. It was really fun and informative.
It was really fun. Thanks, Jay. It was awesome.
Thanks,
for you.
Jay. Yeah.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much. Let me know if I can help.
Okay,
right?
I will. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, see ya. Bye. All right, I put you all back in the waiting room, and then you can jump off when you're ready. We'll go back to camera 1. This is ATI Auto Business, and so it's not every week. All right, it's not every week. Got a couple dings in the door, but you know what? This is still a. I do enjoy. Scheduling is kind of painful. It's not as painful if I don't go live every week. So I do enjoy putting together what I think is going to be another good show. I did enjoy putting this show together. This show was very enjoyable to do. I really had a good time. I learned a lot. So ATI still here. This was episode 396. Not in a row. We don't do that anymore. But I am going to be live again next Tuesday night. We're going to do, I think we're going to do like building a podcast with AI live next Tuesday night. Something like that. I got to check in with Tom Klein, Todd, and, David's going to join us too. David Ray Jr. So that should be interesting. We got a great show Thursday on industry logistics. We're going to take a look at the super central price war and what effect it's having. Transportation and logistics came up for a moment tonight. We didn't really dive into it because on the logistics side where they make sausage, man, it's a mess. It's really a mess. And we're going to talk about it Thursday. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, please do join the live chat on Thursday at noon Central Time. Otherwise, tune in next Tuesday night. You can go to the website. You can go to the YouTube channel. You can get the podcast. There's a lot happening. You can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. My name is Jay. I'm still here. I'll do the car hauler. Here we go. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good night.